Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And Mamdani in a moment in Washington, the nation's capital, reportedly for a meeting with President Trump, but the meeting is not on Mamdani's schedule. In fact, he does not have a public schedule for today. We'll get to Mamdani and the NYPD, oh boy, in just a moment. Returning home with Olympic gold, Jack Hughes gets a great welcome back last night from his team, the New Jersey Devils in Newark. And seconds later, Democrat Governor Mikey Sherrill, well, it didn't go so great for her.
Partner David and Allison Blitzer, and New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill, and First Gentleman Jason Henry.
Loud boo for the governor of New Jersey from the collective crowd. But our top story, children, Mr. Mayor, who threw snowballs and chunks of ice at NYPD officers. Well, the indifference from Mamdani, maybe he said children because Mamdani is only 7 years older than the first suspect in custody today. And of course, the suspect has a rap sheet. That's why I called them savages on day one as soon as I heard about this incident. And so he has a rap sheet. And let's start with, how did we get to this point? This from WCBS TV Channel 2 with the furious president of the PBA.
We're looking at video of police officers being pelted by snowballs after they responded to multiple 911 calls of disorderly groups in Washington Square Park.
It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a game. It was a vicious attack, an assault on 2 New York City police officers that landed them in the hospital.
The mayor needs to come out and condemn this. He needs to say that this is wrong. Right now, he's sending a horrible message.
And what did Mamdani do? 2 days in a row, Mamdani doubled down.
So, Mr. Mayor, are you willing to revise your statement regarding the snowball fight, given that this was not exactly a friendly back-and-forth snowball fight? The police that were there were not throwing any snowballs. They were getting pelted themselves. And number two, have you considered, or would you consider banning these crowdsourcing events, because they can and sometimes do get out of hand?
So I'm not going to be banning snowball fights or organized snowball fights. I've shared my thoughts with New Yorkers, and I continue to believe that what we are seeing in this response to this winter blizzard from the city workers as a whole, and that includes the hardworking men and women of the NYPD, is part of why the city is getting back on its feet, and I'm appreciative of that work.
So that's your mayor. And I'll just say this. So when the police were forced to shoot the schizophrenic man and the man lived, Mamdani ran to the hospital to visit the man and say he should not face charges, and did not visit the police officers. So we have 2 officers that were sent to the hospital with lacerations. Where were you, Mr. Mayor? Did you go visit those officers? Absolutely not. You know why? Because he's anti-police. So this clown that has been arrested, 27 years old, arrested for attempted robbery just weeks ago. I know this doesn't surprise you. It shouldn't surprise anyone. Arrested for attempted robbery in my neck of the woods where I grew up at, but in a Bronx subway station, again, less than 3 weeks ago. Now, he's one of 4 suspects that was pictured, that is, in surveillance photos released by the NYPD after all of this came forward. And the NYPD is praising the NYPD police PBA is praising the arrest, and at the same time took a swipe at Mamdani, who again portrayed this as a group of kids goofing off. The PBA, the union, posting on X, quote, "A 27-year-old is not a kid." And so again, at a Fordham train station, literally where I used to live at growing up in the Bronx, this guy apparently on February 6th stormed up to a strap hanger and demanded, "Run everything in your pockets." Translation, give me everything you've got. Going on to say, you don't want this to get physical. He was arrested and charged with attempted robbery, attempted petty larceny, and harassment, the court documents show. You cannot make this up. So, Mr. Mayor, a group of kids, huh? Folks, you know what time it is. He was minimizing it because he doesn't want it to be an issue. He's anti-police. And so he has no public schedule today. And already he's, I don't know if I should say breaking the rules, but you have an apparent meeting with the President of the United States, and we don't know anything about it. You just don't have any public schedule today. And you're seeing on the back of a flight, at least he didn't fly first class. I guess he was trying to go incognito with a hat on, trying to get to D.C., without being noticed. But guess what, Mr. Mayor? You have been noticed. Let's start with your telephone calls. Let's begin with Pamela, line 5, New Jersey. Pamela, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon. With all this snowball fighting talk, it rang a memory in my mind. When I was in middle school in New Jersey, we lived just within the outside the limit for the school bus to take us. So we took the New Jersey Transit. And if you remember those old green buses, that's what we took. And anyway, our bus driver was really cool. He was like a Vietnam vet. He had the jacket, and he played the banjo, and he was very mellow. So it was kind of surprising. One day we're going up this very steep hill in town, pretty steep, and these kids came out of nowhere and slammed his windshield with hard, ice balls. And it could have, cracked his windshield and injured him and caused it to crash and hurt all of us. And he stopped the bus on the steep hill, and he ran out of the bus, and he ran after the kids. I don't know if he caught him because he was gone quite a while. And we were all well-behaved in the bus, and we were cheering him on. And you know what we learned from that? Like, you don't bleep around with people with snowballs.
You don't. Someone's eye can literally be forced to be removed, can be blind. And as you're talking, Pamela, I'm thinking about that 8-year-old Jewish girl that was hospitalized because she was on a school bus in New Jersey, threw a rock at the bus and it hit her in the eye. So this is very, very, very serious type situations. Thank you, Pamela, for the telephone call. Let's go to Reggie, line 4, in the great state of Texas. Reggie, what's on your mind?
Oh, good afternoon. This is kind of the reverse of the residual of the broken windows policy, right? I remember several years ago, y'all had a problem up there with water bottles being thrown at police.
Yes.
This is really a really bad look. The rest of the country looks at that, and I know y'all, there's a whole bunch of you that want law and order, but it looks like just total chaos and lawlessness, unfortunately. Policemen being attacked, and this Yahoo can't come out. All he's doing is he's encouraging further behavior like this.
That's what he wants. That's what he wants. He's sending a message remember, and again, Reggie, the mayor is only 7 years older than the suspect. And the message he's trying to send is no matter what the media says, no matter what the establishment says, I'm down with you in the hood, in the community, even though he grew up with a silver spoon his entire life in his mouth. Reggie, thank you for the great call. You know what? Against my better judgment, I'm going to go to Melvin in the Bronx. Now, Melvin, I know you're going to condemn this, correct?
I remember back in the 60s.
No, Melvin, I've already told you, no history lessons from you. Make your point. I don't know why you have to always go down history lane. What is your point?
I'm talking about solutions.
Okay, so give me a solution, but I don't need to hear your version of history.
Why? When people were throwing light bulbs off rooftops at police officers, they took away the foot patrols. That's why you don't see them walking around out here no more. You ain't got no police patrolling the public house in the village. You definitely ain't got. I remember doing that.
Okay, Melvin. But Melvin, you're only proving my point of these far left Democrats. That's why you don't have cops really patrolling the housing projects anymore. Because these far left Democrats, from mayors on down to the city council, everything is done for the criminal. But what is your point, Melvin, as it relates to this incident with the snowballs?
Is about the principle of morality. You're collecting taxes every day. Go ahead and do what you're supposed to. If they are incorrect, well, go ahead.
Okay, so Melvin, what are they? So when you say they, you didn't define who they was, but what are they supposed to do? What are you saying, man? Get to the point.
Who are in charge of policy? Who have been selecting and put there?
Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time because you're giving me a headache. Who are you referring to?
Every elected official and judges out there who's opposed.
Dominic is done with you.
I gave you patience. You couldn't get to your point. You never do. I always tell you, Melvin, don't start with history. You do it every time. I don't know what makes you think you're a history buff, but folks, the reason why I don't like going down the path of history is because we're in a live situation. I don't know, particularly every single time, if your version of history is accurate. And it's hard for me to figure it out in a live situation. Kelly, line 4, Westchester. Kelly, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, quick question. What would have happened, do you think, if the cops picked up the snow and started throwing snowballs at the kids and one of the kids got hurt?
CCRB would have started an immediate investigation. The so-called child's mama would have announced an immediate lawsuit against the city of New York. I mean, let's be honest, Kelly. That's what all these. I almost said something I shouldn't say. What could have got me in trouble. That's what all of these young people. That's what they're looking for, a lawsuit, right? And it would have been nonstop. The live trucks would have been at the officer's home. The PBA would have been being denounced. Everybody would have been under attack. How dare you attack the young people of America? This is why, Kelly, I couldn't be a police officer, because I'm telling you, if you're throwing large chunks of ice like that at me, I might have shot you in the face. Kelly, thank you for the great call. We see all your calls, folks. 800-848-9222.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now, is right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Payne Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It did not go well for Governor Mikey Sherrill at the New Jersey Devils game, the Prudential Center in Newark last night. But as you might imagine, it was an absolute hero's welcome for Jack Hughes.
I'm so proud and I'm so happy that the men's and women's USA hockey teams brought gold medals back to the United States of America. You guys are making me emotional, but I'm so proud to represent the New Jersey Devils organization. And I'm so proud to represent the great state of New Jersey. So proud. From the bottom of my heart, all my teammates, USA teammates, we just want to thank you guys for all the love and the support. We feel it. Thank you.
Great player. Great welcome back home with Olympic gold. We see you folks want to talk about Mom Donnie. Let's go here. Let's go to Mike, line 4, St. James. Mike, what's on your mind?
Dominic, from your experience in politics, what would happen if Andrew Cuomo decided to run for governor in November on the as an independent?
He has no interest in running as governor. He can't win as governor. It's Kathy Hochul's race. I guess you should never say never in politics. Cuomo's, I haven't had a chance to talk to him privately, but it seems like he's waiting for the next mayor's race. If you notice, all of his public comments are sharply directed at Mamdani. And, I promised a number of you folks that I won't discuss a third candidate in the race for mayor, but I am going to tell you this. Almost every day I wake up, and if not for that third candidate in the race for mayor, Mamdani would not be the mayor. He would be back in the assembly, and he probably would lose his next reelection, never to be heard from again. Never to be heard from again if it wasn't for the third candidate in the race for mayor, who's quiet as can be. You're a homeless advocate. This is all I'm going to say. You claim to be a homeless advocate under your boy Mamdani, who you were the lead blocker for in both debates, not just one, both. You covered him and ran lead blocker for him in each debate. And 19 homeless people died in the cold. You haven't said anything. And you're supposed to be the biggest homeless advocate. So it makes you wonder, what did you get for your antics? And it's going to come out. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. Thank you for that call. Let's go to Mary, line 5, Suffolk County. Mary, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, thank you for taking my call. I am just so outraged by this attack on this small group of police, by this violent mob. It's not a friendly little snowball fight. When a group of people are pummeling a small group of people with ice balls at their faces and their heads. I saw the video. And I'm with you, Dominic. If I was a cop, I'd pull my gun out and shoot somebody, and that's why I'm not a cop.
But then the video would have been played 1,000,000 times. Then you'd have to mortgage your home, your parents. The cameras will be outside your parents' home, simply because you defended yourself and shot one of these little monsters. One of these little gangsters in waiting. Nobody wants to tell the truth, Mary. Everybody wants to go, urban kids, and you know what that means when I say urban kids. That's the proper word. Urban kids. You can't say black. Urban kids, it's not their fault. Let them do whatever they want. Not all kids are like this. Not all black kids are like this. You got a whole lot of black kids out there that are doing the right thing. But as far as these many gangsters want to be gangsters, something has to give, folks. Time for a break. We're coming right back with more of your telephone calls.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back in a moment, returning to your live telephone calls. I'm telling you, in the race for governor of New York, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman is no joke. And Blakeman is even sounding off on this snowball attack on law enforcement.
Let me tell you something. To those idiots that threw snowballs at New York City police officers, when I'm governor, you're not going to get away with that. Get it?
And you can tell the seriousness in the way that he's saying it. And so, to her credit, Hochul did denounce this. It's only Mamdani that is the friend of the criminal. What's interesting, folks, and I'm coming right back to the NYPD, to your telephone calls. I try telling you folks, and you guys, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, that Trump is always playing chess. He's always playing chess. He's always 3 to 4 moves ahead. So let me give you an example. I'm trying to figure out this love fest with Mamdani. I haven't figured it out yet. My first thought was that he was being nice to him because Mamdani was about to be indicted. Those were my first private thoughts. And for the president apparently to meet with Mamdani today, I haven't figured that part out yet. But remember from the State of the Union address where the president called out the Democrats and said, I'm telling you, these people are crazy. The man is always playing chess. The ad is already set to go, and in key battleground states, the ad is going to run of exactly the president saying these people are crazy, with Democrats sitting on their hands, some of them sleep during the State of the Union address.
These people are crazy.
That spot was cut by a conservative group and will run nationally and target races in several key states. This headache for Democrats now may stretch beyond the midterm elections. A potential presidential candidate already put it on spotlight. Watch.
Look, it's not typical the opposition party stands and claps for every moment, but on that line, would you have?
The president had a choice last night to speak to the American people or to spar with those in the chamber, to either try to unite our country or further sow division.
So obviously that's a Democrat there, but I'm telling you, the president is always playing chess. How do you think the man got to that level, being so successful? And of course, the voice of reason, Pennsylvania Senator Democrat John Fetterman, always under attack. Why? Why, you ask? Because he's willing to work with this president. And Fetterman is calling out what he calls hypocritical Democrats that are complaining. What did Fetterman do? He shook the president's hand.
Think we have to find a way, if we can be in the same room, we can disagree on these things. You don't have to sign off on everything. You don't have to agree with everything. And now, if I hear something that I agree with or I like that, hey, I'm going to stand up and clap for those things. And I think, and if someone's angry that I shook the president's hand as he walked in, I think that's on them. And I think some of the people that were angry that I did that, they didn't really have a problem when Mandami visited with the White House too. So, like, if we refuse to talk to the other side, I mean, that's the only one that really loses. That's America.
And that is so true. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, going after Democrats and making some very valid points.
I'm truly appalled. I saw a lot of Democrat commentators today spiraling out of control, grasping at straws, trying to find any excuse to criticize President Trump's exceptional speech last night, and they have a very hard time doing so. It's even forced them, as you just pointed out, to turn against the great men and women who brought home gold medals for the first time in 46 years since the Miracle on Ice. These are great men. They're patriots. They are great athletes who represented our country at the highest level of sports. And the president was so proud to present them to the joint Congress last night. Both Democrats and Republicans should be able to stand up and clap for these young men who made our country so proud on the world stage. But unfortunately, it appears that Democrats, their brains have been so debilitated by Trump derangement syndrome that they can't even root for Team USA. They can't even stand when the president calls on them to do so for American citizens who they swear an oath to protect.
And Caroline Leavitt making some great points there. Carlos, I want to go to soundbite 10 to prove the point, folks. And then we're going right back to your calls. If you want to know why, and I'm a fan of Cardi B. I'm not going to lie. Is her music raunchy? Absolutely. Does she play the dumb routine a little too much? Nobody can be that stupid. Nobody. I think she does it playing to men's egos, but I could be wrong. And it's made her a multimillionaire out of Lehman High School in the Bronx and had worked as a stripper. But if you want to know why these little gangsters, many gangsters, do what they did, throwing, and gangsters, that's too positive a word for these clowns. They don't have that much ability. They don't even realize that their lives are over. Over. Not because of the snowball incident. It was over anyway. There was no path to success, but nobody wants to tell them that. And where are the civil rights leaders telling these young people what you did is despicable? Where are they? I'm just asking. So, Cardi B, if you want to know why our kids are so dysfunctional and don't know which direction they're going, not all. I'm talking about the ones that were out there throwing these snowballs at the NYPD and thought it's funny. Look no further than the Mamdanis of the world. Look no further than the Cardi B's of the world. Again, I like her music. You know, I do. But again, I think the dumb routine, she can't be that dumb. Well, guess who she just endorsed? Cardi B just endorsed Congresswoman Hate Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate in Texas. Now, Cardi B, you went down this same path with Kamala. And how well did that work out? You and Beyonce. I like Beyonce too now, folks. It didn't work out for either one of you. You got paid, but it didn't work out. Nobody was going to be able to help Kamala. Just like nobody's going to be able to help Jasmine Crockett. But I want you to listen to this. This is Cardi B, the rapper, endorsing Congresswoman Hate Jasmine Crockett.
Listen up, y'all. Early primary voting is happening right now in Texas, and we need Jasmine Crockett to win. She is running for U.S. Senate, and if you want somebody that's going to fight for your right, if you want somebody to fight for your community, if you want somebody that's going to go up there and represent you and represent your issues, please vote for my sister Jasmine Crockett. Because one thing about it, she's going to fight her best. She's going to fight whoever she has to, so your voice and your problems could be heard. Vote right now. This counts so much. Vote right now.
Okay, so that's Cardi B, right? Now, again, I like her music, but I'm convinced that this dumb routine that it's part of the act. Everybody has an act to get to the top. Nobody can be that stupid. She can't, a stripper, most strippers are street smart, truth be told. And coming out of the Bronx, she just can't be that dumb. I mean, but if you want to know why the generation is headed where these kids are throwing snowballs and robbing people, it's because of situations like that. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go to Mark in New Jersey, line 2. Mark, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. If these idiots were throwing rocks, 4-inch diameter rocks, it would be considered a weapon, I would think. An ice ball is just as hard as the rocks are, and
Correct.
Can cut and hurt and kill somebody. I don't get it why Mondani is calling it a snowball fight. Not a snowball fight. It's idiots throwing rocks or ice balls at the police. It's total disrespect.
Mark, you know why, and I don't mean to offend voters, but he's playing to his ignorant base. You know what he's doing. I hate to put it this way because it's reducing it to the lowest common denominator. It's called Pimping 101. He's playing to the lowest common denominator. People that don't know jack squat, but they voted for Mamdani. And he says what they want to hear, and he's going to ride this as long as he can ride it. Thank you, Mark. Let's go. But he's definitely a one-term mayor. There will not be a second term. Let's go to line 3, Russ in White Plains. Here we go. Russ, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I think the police conducted themselves with discipline and restraint, and now the message goes out, don't disrespect the police. But, shooting someone in the face, that would have resulted in a lot of bad things for the police. It's better that they go after these people and they get the message that you will get problems. But I want to say, Curtis and a lot of callers are just Cuomophobes, and they'd rather have Karl Marx as mayor than Andrew Cuomo. I wonder what role that Frank Bubbles Morano, kingpin of Staten Island, played in keeping Curtis in the race. I'd like to find out. And Dominic, one more thing. Why did they kidnap this Columbia student when Trump just said Mondami's a communist and I like him?
Well, your version, thank you for the call, Russ. Your version of kidnapping the Columbia student, that's all it is as of right now, is your version. We don't have the facts. We don't have the facts of what went on. I support ICE 1,000%. 1,000%. Now, if it requires a warrant and not an administrative warrant, I don't know what happened there, but we'll see. But until we know officially what happened up at Columbia, they can stand out there and protest all they want to. They're just looking for a reason to protest anyway. But the job has to get done. I'm with ICE 1,000%. And for lack of a better term, I can't be any more direct than this. If you're not supposed to be here, get out. Is that direct and clear for you, Russ? I'll say it again. If you're not supposed to be here legally, get out. We don't have enough dollars to pay for you, your girlfriend, your 8 kids, and your medical services, and the education is dragging our education system down. Go back to your country. Plain and simple. Tony, line 3, Clifton, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Tony?
Dominic, you know, when we were talking about Mayor Mamdani, we told them what was coming, and we told them what they should be doing about the vote. And now the snowball fight is just the tip of the iceberg. More is to come. Can you imagine the next incident? What could that be? You know, pray tell. Somebody doesn't like somebody celebrating a holiday, and that gang can just throw anything they want at people. You got what you didn't vote for, what you should have voted for. You messed up. You didn't go out and vote. And Dominic, I don't know how you listen to this. Complaints. But
Tony, I don't think the voters messed up. The deck was stacked. You had the opposition vote, and rather than one of the candidates getting out, and Cuomo would have won. He would have. Don't listen to that garbage. Oh, you know, he was still 2 points. Momentum would have pushed him over the top. I'm not pretending that that Cuomo is the Pope. I'd probably be standing here right now criticizing him, but at least he would be responsible. What you said what's going to happen, Tony? I can tell you from years of experience what's going to happen. It's going to get 1,000,000 times worse. We're going to have a questionable situation. I hope it doesn't happen, but a police shooting, and Mamdani's going to side with the criminal in any way that he can, and not with the men and women of law enforcement. This guy, you know, he doesn't go to parades. He's telling us, you know that saying they say when a person shows you who they are, believe them? He's showing everybody every day who he is and what he thinks of all of us. And he doesn't think very much of us at all. He's going to continue along this path. He's going to be a one-term mayor. All I can say is I hope the Republican Party learns a lesson from this and never again just run somebody that can't win, because that's what got us in this mess. We'd be talking about Mayor Mamdani right now. Thank you for the call, Tony. Time for a break. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. And now, it's time for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Final Thoughts.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Final Thoughts of the day. Mamdani, what are you going to say now? The kids, Mr. Mayor. The suspect is 27 years old. You're 34, Mr. Mayor. So maybe that's why you called him a kid. I don't know. But if you think that Mamdani is going to get any better, you're only kidding yourself. It's going to get a whole lot worse. And everybody's running for the hills. Nobody wants to take responsibility. I'm not going to focus on the Republican candidate for mayor anymore. I'm going to leave that alone. But all of this is his fault. All of it. Because I told him in private months before the election, you cannot win. You don't have a chance in hell of winning. Oh, well, all you need to do is say this, Dominic, on air to help me out. Don't play up this part, play up that, play up this. I told the man point blank, you can't win. And I'm not going to go on the air lying for you. Not going to do it. Oh, well, just say this, say that, say this. Okay, I'm done. I'm looking at for today. Every time I think about this, it's disgusting how that candidate, the Republican candidate, sold out the city of New York. Notice the word I used. Sold out. Looking at my Twitter at my ex, Helen says, I believe Helen's referring to Cardi B and Jasmine Crockett. Cardi B can't be that stupid. She knows. She knows what us men are looking at when we look at her. She knows. She was a stripper. She knows. And she's playing to our egos by playing that she's that dumb. She can't be that dumb. Helen says, no, she is not. I believe talking about the endorsement. And one more thing to consider. How much do you think she got paid to endorse her? Helen says here, her sister. Jimmy Fontanez said, I heard Cardi as a judge on a Netflix talent show. She ain't that dumb. Jimmy, she can't be that dumb. Nobody is that dumb. She knows she's a good-looking woman. She knows she can dance, and she knows what us men are looking at. And she's not stupid. She became okay, if it comes down to being a stripper, making nothing, basically, or being Cardi B, which one would you choose? I'd choose Cardi B each and every time if it was my life. Liz Rosenblatt says, Dominic, do you think they have an agenda? Of course. Can they be that stupid? Liz says, absolutely. And Debbie has some interesting comments. Everybody has something to say about Cardi B here. I like her music. Let's see what Brian in Terrytown line 2 has to say. Brian, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, how are you today?
Good. Go right ahead, please.
So, Cardi B is playing 4D chess right now. Texas is one of 17 states with an open primary, meaning that Republicans can vote in the primary for her against her opponent, James Tallarico, who is viewed as a much more formidable candidate against Cornyn. By endorsing Jasmine Crockett and having her ultimately win, she will get trounced in the next round by Cornyn.
Well, Cardi B also endorsed Kamala, and how well did that work?
Well,
right?
That's true.
I see this as two dingbats supporting each other. But hey, Brian, help me out, man to man. Cardi B can't be that stupid, right? That's an act, right?
It has to be an act, man. It's just like you can't believe what you're seeing with some of the stuff that she comes out with. And then at the end of the day, she's just, she knows what she's doing.
Right. Because, being honest, folks, right, everybody has an image. So my image was Dominic is, for 30 years, Dominic is the bulldog that goes after the politicians. And I got to tell you, Mom Donnie, boy, you are lucky, because if I was assigned to City Hall, I would eat you for breakfast each and every day. Each and every day. And if you don't believe me, go ask Rudy Giuliani, or go ask Ed Koch, or go ask Bill de Blasio. Or go ask Bloomberg. I would eat you for breakfast each and every day. Oh, you so lucky. You got these kids down there. Mr. Mayor. Gabe and I would take turns. Me, Gabe, Marsha, and others. We would take turns. Marsha is still down there. But we would take turns eating you, and I would lead the pack. I would do it. Oh, I would be so honored to do it, because you are an empty suit, Mr. Mayor. You pimped your way to City Hall. I have to give you that much. Folks, on America's darkest day, 9/11, America vowed to never forget. Help our nation to keep that promise. Donate to T2T.org.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.